Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Monday, January 22, 2024. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Guyana's debt burden lowest in Western Hemisphere. INDAR schools opposition economists as Budget 2024 debates open. Make decisions based on the facts. President Ali reminds of APNU+AFC'S failures. MUSTAPHA files multi-million-dollar libel suit against Norton. Motorcyclist dies after breaching stoplight, crashing into car, driver to be charged. And digital complaint system underway this year for Labor Ministry. Now for the news in detail. Guyana has the lowest debt ratio in the Western Hemisphere despite inheriting most of that debt from the Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change coalition government during their time in office, which spanned the period 2015 to 2020. This position was made by a minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, as he dispelled claims made by the opposition during the opening day of the 2024 budget debates. Trishelle Sobers has this story.
During her remarks on day one of the 2024 national budget debates in the National Assembly at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, Lilendal, opposition parliamentarian Joretha Fernandes explained that the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration has placed a debt burden of $1.8 million on every Guyanese household. Fernandes, one of the opposition's point person on economics, disclosed that the opposition expects the country's domestic and external debt to skyrocket in the future. In this regard, she said the $1.146 trillion budget, dubbed Staying the Course, Building Prosperity for All, will only raise the cost of living for the ordinary man, which, quote, results in poverty, end quote.
In the period 2015 to 2019, the APNU coalition government, and this is in dire need of repetition, sir, spent a total of $1.2 trillion. After the budgetary period comes to an end, the PPP would have spent $3.25 trillion in the period 2020 to 2024. A difference of roughly $2 trillion Guyana dollars. With the rising cost of living that Guyanese are facing, Budget 2024 has been the biggest disappointment from the PPP thus far. We are not going to sit back and let the PPP run this economy down further than they have already done, because we will invest in you and your children. Trickle-down economics have no place in Guyana's governance, sir.
During his presentation, Minister within the Public Works Ministry, Deodat Indar, debunked the claims made by the opposition parliamentarian, highlighting that Guyana is the fastest growing economy, whose gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 33% and non-oil economy grew by 11.7% in 2023. Indar noted that the growth recorded is attributed to the expansion of Guyana's oil and gas activities and non-oil sectors, which all expanded due to targeted budgetary provisions allocated between 2020 to 2023. Further, he revealed that the country's debt ratio is 27%, and the administration remains steadfast in its commitment to maintaining a strong debt sustainability position for Guyana.
It is 27%. The Honorable Minister Singh put it inside the document. She didn't read or she didn't compare. Because if you compare it to the rest of the Western Hemisphere, no country has a low debt to equity, debt to GDP ratio or tax burden as Guyana. Guyana is the lowest in ECLAC, is the lowest in the entire Western Hemisphere. And that is something that they could never achieve. The debt stock of this country, going back decades, we still paying for some of them old projects. It adds up. And it keeps adding, but it's only 3.8% of your total spend.
Vice President Dr. Barj Zagdio has already debunked the contention that the country has been plunged further into debt, stressing that the government is committed to sustainable borrowing to ensure that the state of the economy is not put at risk. On January 15, the country's largest fiscal package of $1.146 trillion was presented to the National Assembly by Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
The People's Progressive Party civic government is working towards a holistic transformation of Guyana, which will see greater prosperity and development for the country and its people. President Dr. Irfan Ali made this remark during a live broadcast on his social media page on Sunday, as he continues to defend his administration's $1.146 trillion budget 2024. Let's have a look.
Imagine some of these guys have the gall, the audacity to go to meet with sugar workers when they brazenly, like bandits in the night, closed down sugar estates, sent thousands of sugar workers home packing, sent thousands of families into poverty, sent communities into poverty, sent hundreds of children out of school when they brazenly shut down the sugar industry. Today, they have the audacity to claim that they want the best for sugar workers. This type of betrayal, this type of hypocrisy has no place in a modern society. That is why it's important that as Guyanese, we examine the facts. We make decisions based on the facts. Remember when they promised a certain price for rice? When the farmers confronted them, they said, we never promised that. And for a matter of fact, they said rice is private business. Instead, what they did, they stopped all investment in D&I. They increased the water users charge. They increased the charge for D&I services. They increased the charge for land rental. They took away all the competitive advantages farmers had. When we came back, what we did, remove all the taxes on machinery for farmers, remove all the taxes on fuel for farmers. We distributed fertilizers for farmers. We removed the increases in land rental fee. We removed the increases in the D&I services. And once again, we reinvested in D&I services, giving billions of dollars in support to the farmers. Imagine when the Minister of Finance was reading the budget speech, I heard the leading member of the opposition heckled and said, why y'all building so many schools? This is the mentality of the people we're talking about. The people who took away billions of dollars from our school children, money that supported our school children to buy uniform, to get transportation to go to school, closed down school feeding program, scrapped any initiative that added value to the education system. On every single criteria, when you compare our performance, when you analyze the facts, when you look at the truth, you will see that Budget 2024 continue to speak to the realities of our country. Budget 2024 continue to fulfill our commitment to the people of Guyana. Budget 2024 continue to fulfill our mandate to the people of Guyana. Budget 2024 continue to deliver greater prosperity, development, and advancement for our country and our people.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has filed a multi-million-dollar libel suit against opposition leader Aubrey Norton in relation to an official press statement in which the PNC leader accused the minister of being involved in a major corruption scandal relative to the importation of chicken. Here is Trishelle Sobers with the details.
The press release in question was issued on December 2, 2023 under the heading Breaking News. Minister of Agriculture and other officials in the ministry accused of major corruption, and the statement alleged that the minister and others are smuggling, quote, truckloads of chicken, end quote, into the country. In court documents, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa argued that the words used in the press release issued by opposition leader Aubrey Norton are completely false and without any foundation in reality. In fact, the minister detailed that on the same day following the issuance of such a statement from the opposition leader, he himself released a statement refuting the claims. Mustapha outlined that following the issuance of his statement, there has since been no apology and withdrawal of the opposition leader's statement and/or allegations. Instead, Mustapha explained the opposition leader issued another statement continuing the allegations. Against his backdrop, the Agriculture Minister argues that his reputation has been damaged and that he has suffered considerable distress and embarrassment as a result of the opposition leader's allegations. In fact, Minister Mustapha outlined that apart from being a government minister, he is presently the executive secretary of the People's Progressive Party, the largest political party in the country, and that he is a distinguished public figure enjoying local and international acclaim. Among other things, Mustapha is seeking an excess of $5 million for libel as well as injunction restraining Norton and his agents from further publishing similar words, which are defamatory of the Agriculture Minister. Mustapha is also seeking an order directing the opposition leader to retract and apologize for making false and defamatory statements about the Agriculture Minister. Mustapha is being represented by attorneys Sanjeev Datakin and Khalif Gobin. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up, mother of 5 killed in BV accident and Region 9 vendor dies a week after accident. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
It's a new day with Shilling Oil. A unique blend of natural oils to help ease and soothe the day-to-day discomforts of life. Get relief from muscle and joint pain, headaches, and congestion. Shilling Oil lets you get back to the things you love doing most. Water relief with Shilling Oil. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Kwesi Griffith, a 42-year-old motorcyclist of Lilliandale, East Coast Demerara, was killed in an accident which occurred at around 11:56 last night at the junction of Sheriff Street and Rupert Craig Highway in Georgetown. The accident involved a motorcar PAB 5158, owned and driven by a 25-year-old resident of Canvas City, Wismer Linden, and the blue motorcycle bearing registration CK 7323, owned and driven at the time by Griffith. Investigations so far indicate that the driver of the motorcar was proceeding west along the southern carriageway of the Rupert Craig Highway at a fast rate, the green traffic light favoring his passage, while the motorcyclist was proceeding east along the northern carriageway of this road with the red traffic light signaling he should stop at the junction. As both drivers approached the junction of Rupert Craig Highway and Sheriff Street, the motorcyclist breached the red traffic light signal by turning right onto Sheriff Street and ended up in the path of the motorcar. He was consequently struck by the left side front portion of the car and was flung some distance into the air before landing on the road surface with severe injuries about his body. The ambulance service that was summoned pronounced the motorcyclist dead at the scene. A breathalyzer test was conducted on the driver of the car and no trace of alcohol was found on his breath. Nevertheless, a notice of intended prosecution was prepared in duplicate and the original was served on the driver. Meanwhile, a mother of 5 has been killed in an accident that occurred on the public road at Betterverwachting, East Coast Demerara, at about 2 hours on Sunday. Dead is 53-year-old Denise Elizabeth Jocelyn Paul of Lot 1139 Beirut, Bachelor's Adventure, East Coast Demerara. According to her son, Rion Anderson, Paul had left her Beirut home at about 19 hours on Saturday to spend time with friends, and at sometime after 2 hours on Sunday, the family received a call from the Betterverwachting police station, notifying them of the accident. Upon rushing to the scene, Anderson said they discovered the woman's lifeless body on the road. He claimed that police told family members that the driver responsible for the accident was under the influence and had fallen asleep behind the wheel, resulting in the vehicle colliding with a post and flipping multiple times. Paul was in the front passenger seat and she was not wearing a seatbelt. Meanwhile, 57-year-old Gordon Vantal, a taxi driver of Beefield Sophia, Greater Georgetown, was today granted bail in the sum of $450,000 in relation to the woman's death. We now tell you that a third victim in the 2-vehicle smash-up that had claimed the lives of Sarah Wilson and her husband Raul McKenzie on January 8 in front of the Rimeveld police station in Georgetown has died. Dead is 29-year-old Priam C. Churan, called Romel, of Bellevue, West Bank, Demerara. He had been driving Honda Vezel PAD 2018 when the smash-up occurred at approximately 5 hours 25. According to investigations, the motorcar was allegedly traveling at high speed when it collided with a pile of sand that caused it to flip multiple times and migrate onto the opposite carriageway of the Rimeveld public road, where it subsequently collided with the front of Raul McKenzie's northbound minibus, resulting in all occupants sustaining injuries. Both drivers, having sustained broken limbs, had been trapped in their vehicles and had to be extricated by firefighters. Wilson, a 51-year-old resident of Samata Point, Grove, East Bank, Demerara, had been seated in the front of the minibus and was pronounced dead at the scene of the accident. Her husband died at the Georgetown Public Hospital hours later while receiving treatment. Admitted to the GPHC intensive care unit with head injuries, Cicheran had fought for his life but has eventually succumbed. Additionally, a vegetable vendor has lost his life more than a week after he had been involved in a serious collision with a pickup truck while riding his motorcycle in the Aranaputa Valley of the North Rupununi community in Region 9. Reports are that that accident occurred on January 14 when the now-dead Randy Gilbert was en route to Anai to deliver fresh produce. Eyewitnesses revealed that the collision occurred when Gilbert, who was in his 60s, attempted to overtake a truck in the Aranaputa Valley but was blinded by red dust and rode into the path of an oncoming pickup. The collision resulted in Gilbert, who had sustained severe injuries, being rushed to the Anai Health Center in Lethem, where he was diagnosed as having sustained multiple injuries, notably a severely damaged right leg. He had subsequently been transferred to a hospital in Boa Vista, Brazil, where he succumbed to his injuries. The $204 billion allocated for roads and bridges in this year's budget is necessary for the further advancement of the oil economy, Minister within the Public Works Ministry, Deodat Indar, has said as he defended the allocation. Trishel Sobers tells us more.
During day 1 of the 2024 national budget debates in the National Assembly, opposition parliamentarian Joretta Fernandes expressed that Guyana's first $1 trillion budget, which includes a substantial allocation for roads and bridges, is helping to rank up the country's debt. In this regard, she called for the People's Progressive Party civic government to invest a portion of the $204 billion into other sectors that would help Guyanese better cope with the rising cost of living. In response, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works Deodat Indar pointed out that government is capable of managing its expenditures, including investments for capital projects. In this regard, he noted that the monies set aside for roads and bridges are necessary to position Guyana for future growth.
That's right. 204 billion for every community from Pakistan in this country will see development and has seen development because, as I said, we built my good friend and partner in the Ministry of Public Works, over 4,000 roads, community roads, all of them, highways. All of the highways and the byways and the bridges we're building. The 2024 budget that was read out by the Right Honorable Member Dr. Singh is a budget for every strata of life in Guyana. Every strata of life. It addresses all of the problems we are facing. All of the problems we are facing in a various grouping of people, including building a country that when the foreigners come in here by the thousands, they see the country that everybody's talking about overseas, that is the #1 growing economy. They see that the country is revving with economic activity.
Apart from the $204 billion allocation for roads and bridges in this year's budget, the Ministry of Public Works will also receive $2.3 billion for the advancement of air transport, $8.1 billion for river support, and $6.9 billion for sea and river defense. Trishelle Silvers, Evening News.
The Labor Ministry will be revolutionizing its operations in keeping with trends of the digital age by introducing a new digital complaint and mobile application system. Rupa Sinarain tells us more.
Announcing this move was Labor Minister Joseph Hamilton on Monday as the budget debates got underway in the National Assembly. Through a user-friendly mobile application tailored for employers and employees, labor violations and complaints can be tendered. Minister Hamilton directed that this investment will provide an intuitive interface for easy accessibility and inclusivity.
Technological measures to improve accessibility, quality, efficiency, and effectiveness will be pursued. In 2024, this digital complaint and inspection management system with mobile application will be implemented. This system would allow for real-time data which can be used to develop strategies and also to inform policymakers.
Since assuming office, government has established officers in all administrative regions, moving their complement from 9 to 30. During this time, 6,872 workplace inspections were conducted by the ministry, thereby reaching more than 15,000 workers. Regular workplace inspections have continued in all regions to ensure that businesses and companies comply with all regulations. In 2023, more than 2,700 inspections were conducted, and 2 employers were charged for paying their workers below minimum wage.
In 2023, we had a 14% decline in complaints received when compared to 2022. Mr. Speaker, this is evidence that the ministry's policies, programs, and initiatives are efficient, effective, and working. On the APNU+AFC in 2015, when they took up office, the number of complaints to the Labor Department increased by 51%. The first 3 years in office, there were 5,497 complaints. PVP first 3 years in office, we received 3,103 complaints from workers, representing an almost 50% less than what they received.
The ministry would have also recovered $160 million for employees owed by employers, of which $69 million accounted for last year. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Tuesday, January 23, 2024 at 3 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 14 hours 40 on Tuesday, January 23, 2024, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Nandu 11 picks up win in Guyana Harpy Eagles practice match, and Stabroek Eagles and Bounty Colts clinch playoff wins. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Yeah, ready? We are short so far.
Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything.
Sorry, son. Radhika, Abby go tomorrow.
Abby go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3000 better size generator. This can work for your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and
Yes.
Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and mommy can even key start it, cause all you have to do is hook up the battery and
Visit us today at 31 High in Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
Abby go buy one doll pulling mill?
One plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, a sugar cane juicer, circle sir. We gotta get alright then that food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Superbet, your best bet. Win with Superbet. With many products to choose from, winning can be endless. Visit an agent near you or www.superbet.gy to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.